Good afternoon, lovelies. How are you out there on this beautiful day of life and living? A few weeks ago, I shared with you my prayer about how I could support us all in moving forward in these difficult times that we were living in. There was a lot of upset and difficulty at the end of the Hurricane Harvey and the end of Hurricane Irma. Then we had Las Vegas. Last week we had New York. This week we had Texas. And there is just so much discord and disharmony and upheaval in the world. I don't know about you, but I certainly feel the fear and the anxiety and the overwhelming sense of helplessness and sometimes hopelessness. Each day my inbox is filled with people writing me, saying, come and fix me, or I need your help. And so with much prayer and reflection, I think I figured out a way that I can help us all. So I'm inviting you to join me in what I'm calling the awakening. I'm calling it the awakening because I think it's time for us to wake up and remember our power. I think it's time for us to wake up and use the collective power of our minds to turn the tides of the world. We're not getting it from the leadership of this country. We're not getting it very often from our spiritual leaders, our family leaders, our community leaders. So what if we all join together collectively to begin to do something to create more peace, more harmony, to put an end to the anger and the fear and the discord that seems to be everywhere present in the world today. So I need you. I can't do this alone. And it's not just for me, it's for all of us to begin to harness the power of our mind. There is strength in numbers. And I believe that if we all begin to focus our mind in a very clear way, if we all begin to focus our mind with a very clear intention, that we can affect some change in this world. I believe that. I do not believe that our source, our creator, left us powerless to be dragged and tossed around by leadership that is insensitive very often to our needs, that is very sensitive to segments of our society. But regardless of who's in leadership, many of us are experiencing fear and uncertainty and anxiety and stress in our everyday life, regardless of who's leading the country. And I don't believe that is necessary. I don't believe it has to be that way. I know it doesn't have to be that way in my life, and I hope it doesn't have to be that way in your life. So I've been praying about this for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I think I have finally been guided and led. But I need you. I'm calling forth 1 million people to join me in a mental experiment. Now, is it going to give us cleaner teeth and fresher breath? Absolutely not. But what it will do is it will take away the fear, it will minimize the stress and the anxiety, and it will put our faith, our individual and collective faith, back in our hands, back in our hearts, back in a way that we can contain it. So it's very simple. And I'm going to check in with you. I'm going to follow this through. I want you to join me. If you want more information, you can join my mailing list at iyanla.com. But this isn't about a mailing list. This isn't about selling anything or giving anything. I will say that in January, I do have a new book coming out, but that's not what this is about. This is about us coming together now as a mighty, powerful force to have an impact on the way we are living in the world. Now, it won't stop ill or evil people from doing things, but I think that we have to take stock. That when we have to put a metal detector in a church, we need to do something about our lives. So here's the plan. To minimize negativity, we must first acknowledge negativity. And instead of looking outside of ourselves and wondering what everybody else is doing, I say let's look at ourselves. Let's start there. Let's just start becoming conscious of the negative energy that we're putting out in the world. Now, Jerry and Esther Hicks, in their books, the Abraham series, said that all you have to do is hold a thought for 17 seconds and it will create an experience. Can you imagine? 17 seconds is the only thing that's required to create an experience in our lives. And many of us don't understand why we're having negative experiences because we're not conscious of what we're thinking. So here's my assignment for you today. I found this on my shelf. It's just a little notebook. I want you to get a little notebook, something small. Go to the dollar store. You know I love the dollar store. You can always find stuff in the dollar store. Go to the dollar store and get you a small notebook. And what I want you to do is to begin to document your negative thoughts throughout the day. Just document them. Just write them down. And what is a negative thought? It's anything that denies the truth of your divinity. It's anything that denies the truth of the divinity in somebody else. So a negative thought would be, look at her. Look at him. They shouldn't. I shouldn't. I can't. I'm scared. I don't know. This ain't going to work. They ain't going to let me. This is going on for... Look what he's doing. Listen to what he said. Any negative thought, I want you to document it in your little notebook. Now, if you don't have a notebook today, just put it in the notes on your phone. Everybody got a phone. That's how y'all are listening to me, because you have a phone. But on your way home tonight, or when you run out to the store, get you a small notebook and begin to document your negative thoughts, just to see how many you have a day. And imagine, if all it takes is 17 seconds to create something, you're going to start to see what's being created in your life. Will you do that with me? I want 1 million people to join me in documenting their negative thoughts, so that when we move to the next level of creating positive thoughts, we know, I know, you know what we are neutralizing individually. So we got to do this in steps. We have to do this in the process, as a process, so that we can create a new energy. Now, in order to help us become aware, because I know many of us think we don't have negative thoughts, in order to help us become aware, I have a prayer for you. I'm going to pray that prayer now, and then I'm going to post that prayer on my Facebook page to support this message. 1 million people, join me in saying this prayer, so that when we start to pray about neutralizing fear and anger and uncertainty and anxiety, we know what we're neutralizing. Here's the prayer. I wrote it, and I'm going to read it to you. You don't have to worry about getting it all, because I'm going to post it on my Facebook page. Wait a minute. Let me put my eyeglasses on. Not my eyeglasses, my visual assistants. Here's the prayer. There is the prayer to uncover what needs to be seen. Because you know what? We're blaming everybody else. We're holding one or more persons responsible for what we're experiencing. And what I want us to recognize and realize is that we all have power, and that there's strength in numbers. Here's the prayer. Whatever is in me, whatever is hidden that I ought to know about myself, whatever I deny is true about myself, whatever I resist accepting about myself, whatever negativity and destructiveness there is in me, I call it out into the open, into the light, easily and effortlessly under grace. I choose to see it clearly. I commit myself to seeing without judgment or criticism, regardless of the challenge or hurt to my vanity or ego. I commit myself to seeing all within me that has been hidden or unacknowledged. I want to be conscious and aware of how I deliberately refuse to see my part and role wherever I am stuck, wounded, broken. I ask and open myself to know how I deliberately refuse to see and accept my part wherever I am living the truth, wherever I am living less than the truth of my authentic power, and how I therefore over-concentrate and focus on the wrong of others. Did you hear that? I ask and open myself to know how I deliberately refuse to see and accept my part wherever I am living less than the truth of my authentic power, and how I therefore over-concentrate and focus on the wrong of others. I ask to be made ready and willing to clear, release, heal, and surrender these things so that I may step into my authentic identity. I ask, I allow, God becomes. That's our prayer. We're going to pray that prayer, and we're going to start documenting. Get you a book, a piece of paper, a pad, your notes in your phone, and let us start, instead of focusing on what other people are doing and not doing, what other people are saying and not saying, start focusing on those places within you that may be hidden, those places in you that you may not know about, that's contributing to the fear, the stress, the anxiety, the separation, the division that we're living in the world. Let's do that. I'm calling for 1 million people to join me in clearing up, cleaning out, and aligning our minds and our will with something greater and better. So again, if you want to join my mailing list, where I'll be sending out these prayers and notices, just go to iyanla.com, sign up for the mailing list. But I'm also going to meet you right here on Facebook, so that we can begin to change the world, creating more peace, more harmony, more love. And this is what I know. When you turn the light on, darkness disappears. You are the light, beloved. We are the light. And there is still strength in numbers. I'll see you real soon.